Hello everybody and welcome to ABL Primetime Week 3. My name is Nick and I also go by KyogreKauai. I will be your battle commentator tonight and I hope you are all ready for an epic showdown. The first team I'd like to introduce tonight are the Boston Red Claws, coached by none other than Curse Shaka. The Boston Red Claws are currently sitting at 2 wins and 0 losses, making them undefeated going into tonight's battle. They are up against the Herkimer Drednaws, led by their coach Jimmy, and their record currently going into this match is 0 wins and 2 losses. This means that winning the match would be very important for both players, could be the first win or first loss for either coach, respectively. Now we get a chance to take a look at what 6 Pokemon each trainer has decided to bring this week. Looking over at the Drednaws side of things, they have a very powerful Rain core, with the Sableye getting access to the move Rain Dance, paired with its ability Prankster, guarantees it'll be able to set that move up first, bar any other priority moves going first as well. Other Pokemon, like the Drednaw and Kingdra, love that Rain being up because they get their Swift Swim ability, doubling their speed in that Rain. In addition to that, the Water-type Urshifu over here on the Drednaws side is going to enjoy the Water-type attacks being boosted in the Rain. Looking over at the Red Claws side, they have the Liepard, which can actually change the weather as well with Sunny Day and other moves like Hail, Sunny Day, stuff like that. But the Sunny Day would really deny the Water-type Pokemon over on the Drednaws side. Other notable things about the Red Claws team are just really powerful offensive threats like the Corviknight and Magearna and Alakazam. When the Corviknight G-Maxes, it can actually do a lot of damage. Other than that, it is just very defensive. It's hard to tell which team has the upper hand here, but we're going to see which 2 Pokemon they've each decided to lead with, and that can give them potentially the upper hand. Picking which Pokemon you want to lead with is an important decision and, again, can have lasting effects for the rest of the match. So we have coming out from the Boston Red Claws side, Curse sends out the Silvally and Liepard leads. So we're going to see here what the opposing trainer wants to do here. So the Drednaws send out their G-Max captain, the Drednaw, and their Pokemon Sableye there that can set up the Rain. Again, do have to worry about the sun being set up potentially by a Sunny Day Liepard. And it looks like that Silvally is on the field. Important to note that Silvally can be any type. It looks like the Drednaws just double checked to see what type that Liepard is. I believe I saw it is the grass type Silvally, which again is going to put on a lot of offensive pressure here to the Drednaw with a powerful grass type multi-attack. That is a 4-time super effective attack. Which might do a lot of damage to Drednaw even if it Gigantamaxes. So the question here is, what are the Herkimer Drednaws going to do? Are they going to keep their Gigantamax Pokemon in, risking taking a lot of damage from Silvally? Or are they just going to stay in and go on the offensive, trying to get some KOs? So it appears as the time was about to run out and they selected their move. Looks like the G-Max is coming out turn 1. We have a very intense start here to the battle. Turn 1 G-Maxes are always interesting because they can either win you the game or sometimes they feel like they can lose you the game. If your opponent can successfully stall out your Gigantamax and they still have their option to do so in the back, it could be good or bad. So looks like Sableye opts to go for the Fake Out instead of the Rain Dance, and the Liepard returns with a Yawn into the Drednaw. The Silvally flinched because of the Fake Out and did nothing, and a Max Knuckle comes out from the Drednaw, just absolutely destroying and one-hit KOing that Liepard. So the Liepard got the Yawn off, which means after this next turn is finished, the Drednaw will fall asleep, but in exchange, the Drednaws get an attack boost, and the Silvally didn't get to do anything because of the Fake Out. So overall, I feel like that play probably turn 1 went to the Drednaws. They got to boost their attack and KO a Pokemon, and all that they lost is getting their Gigantamax Pokemon put to sleep after this turn. Which, don't get me wrong, is a big deal, but I feel like to get a one-hit KO with your first turn of your Dynamax is definitely a good position to be in. And then the Red Claws opt to send in their Incineroar, which I think is a smart play. They instantly negate the bonus effect of Max Knuckle giving an attack boost, so now this Drednaw is back to neutral attack. So we're going to have to see here what this Incineroar wants to do, what this Silvally wants to do, staring down a Gigantamax Drednaw, which again, Incineroar is weak to being a fire type. So there we go. The Incineroar opts to switch out from the Red Claw side into the Corviknight. Corviknight's thinking it is going to be bulky enough to possibly take a water type attack from this Drednaw. So the Sableye goes for the Rain Dance here, setting up the water again with priority, getting the rain set up. That means Drednaw moves second because of its Swift Swim ability, and G-Max Stone Surge, powerful water type attack in the rain, doing quite a bit of damage to that Corviknight, and setting up essentially Stealth Rocks over on the Boston Red Claws team. And the Red Claws opt to go for a Parting Shot, lowering that attack stat of the Drednaw down to -1 attack and special attack. And not only doing that on its way out, it gets to do that on its way out. So now it's switching out, and we are going to find out what the Red Claws want to switch in to take on this Drednaw. And this Drednaw should fall asleep after this turn, based on the yawn that happened turn 1. So it looks like, yep, Pointed Stones dig into the Magearna, doing a little bit of damage, and that Drednaw does fall asleep. So now this Drednaw does not get to take advantage offensively from its last turn of Gigantamax. Meanwhile, the Corviknight is at very, very low HP, which again is the Boston Red Claws Gigantamax Pokemon. So we're going to see, can the Red Claws come back with their G-Max Pokemon being so low on health? It's going to be interesting to see how both teams handle this next turn. I think this is going to be a very important turn for both of them to maintain or try to get the upper hand here against the other. Coming out first, the Corviknight moves fastest with the Roost. So being that the Drednaw is asleep, doesn't get to do anything, and Corviknight gets almost all its health back. Magearna goes for Trick. Looks like was holding the Choice Specs, gives the Choice Specs to the Drednaw and obtaining the Focus Sash. Alright, Knockoff comes out from Sableye into the Corviknight, removing the weakness policy, which is a huge threat gone off of the Red Claws side. Now the Herkimer Drednaws no longer have to worry about that weakness policy on G-Max Corviknight, because weakness policy on a Gigantamax Pokemon is a very, very powerful and common threat. So one less thing, again, the Drednaws have to worry about. However, this Drednaw is still asleep. It's now holding the Choice Specs, so it is going to be locked into whatever move it selects, and that Choice Specs doesn't really help it unless it's rocking a special type attack. And normally Drednaw is standardly more of a physical attacker. So we're going to see here what's coming out from both trainers. Again, that Magearna is a very powerful threat, and now that the Corviknight has regained its health, it's opting to Gigantamax. So we're going to see what this Gigantamax Corviknight wants to go for, whether it's going to be pure offense, and if so, who would it target? The Drednaw is still asleep, but is more of the offensive threat coming from the other side. However, getting rid of that Sableye could prove to be beneficial. Sableye has a lot of annoying techniques, such as this Quash that comes out from the Sableye, meaning that Corviknight moves very last this turn, does not get to move before anything else. High Horsepower comes out into the Magearna from the Drednaw, not doing much damage though, and the Magearna returns back with a powerful Dazzling Gleam, which does pick up the KO cleanly onto the Sableye and triggering Magearna's Soul Heart ability, boosting its special attack by 1 stage. And now the Corviknight returns with a Max Airstream, not doing much damage. However, the secondary effect boosting the speed of that Magearna and of the Corviknight, really smart play by the Boston Red Claws there, opting to not do as much damage with their Gigantamax, which is always risky, but opting to use it as a supportive Gigantamax to boost the speed of the Magearna, which we can clearly see is outputting a lot of damage with those Dazzling Gleams, and will continue to be now that its special attack has been boosted to +1. Anytime that Magearna gets a knockout, or really, honestly, that anytime any Pokemon faints, whether it's an opposing Pokemon or a partner Pokemon, any Pokemon that faints on the field gives that Magearna +1 special attack. An absolutely crazy powerful ability that can just take advantage of Pokemon being knocked out on either side of the field to boost its own special attack. So now we got the Raichu coming out. Raichu is putting on some offensive pressure, against that Corviknight. Not much against the Magearna, But the Drednaw did have the high horsepower move, which didn't do a lot, honestly. Even being a super effective attack, that Magearna took it like a champ, and that's actually because it is still at -1 attack, back from that Silvally, parting shotting and switching out. So right now this Drednaw, even though it has a super effective move, really is just kind of a sitting duck, not doing much damage. Then we have the Raichu, which can hit again the Corviknight, but not for too much damage if it's Gigantamax. But again, that Magearna is still a really, really scary threat. Not much from the Herkimer Drednaws can threaten it. So we're going to see what the coaches decide to do. Raichu does go for the fake out though, which is a smart play, meaning the Magearna cannot attack this turn. It will be flinched. Drednaw just really trying to knock out this Magearna with another high horsepower. It almost does it, but it does hang on still. The Corviknight again opting to not KO the Drednaw one more time, but really wanting to give those speed boosts to both itself and the Magearna. Now that Magearna is sitting at +1 special attack and +2 boost into the speed stat. So not sure how fast that Magearna is going to be. That Magearna might have the potential to be faster than the Raichu. If both Corviknight and Magearna end up being faster than Raichu, a Dazzling Gleam plus a Gigantamax move into that Raichu could potentially pick up the double KO. And if that happens, that Magearna would be sitting at +3 special attack with +2 speed, which essentially is just crazy fast and crazy powerful. And I don't know if the Herkimer Drednaws could recover from a move like that happening. But interestingly enough, I don't know why the switch happened there. Incineroar comes out, which does give the Intimidate, but that Drednaw was already at -2. So maybe that Drednaw is still faster in the rain at because of the Swift Swim than Magearna at +2. So that could have been why the Magearna switched out. That was probably it. Wanted to lower the attack of that Drednaw even further, which was good with the Intimidate switch in. High horsepower not doing much to that Incineroar, and Corviknight can return and get rid of that pesky Drednaw with the Max Knuckle. So now Magearna's threat to the high horsepower is gone, but Magearna did lose the boost. It was that it had speed boost and special attack boost. So it was a smart switch from the Red Claw side, but definitely had some downsides for them as well. It was a bit of a double-edged sword there. Now Raichu went for that powerful Thunderbolt into the Gigantamax Corviknight, doing quite a big chunk of damage. That Gigantamax Corviknight is running low on HP. So we're going to see here who is going to switch in to replace that Drednaw. The Herkimer Drednaws have the Urshifu in the back and a Rapidash and Kingdra. Going up against the Corviknight and Incineroar, the Kingdra does have a pretty solid matchup, not weak to anything, but also so does the Rapidash. The Rapidash and Kingdra both have pretty solid matchups. I would say maybe depending on the moveset, the Rapidash has an even better matchup against that combination of Corviknight and Incineroar. So we're going to see who's coming out. It looks like it's actually none of the two that I thought. It's going to be that water type Urshifu. Again, this Urshifu is fighting and water type instead of the fighting dark type of its counterpart, I guess you could say. So now Corviknight is no longer Gigantamax, back to its small form, and we have a showdown here. Who is gonna, again, that Corviknight is still at +2 speed. It might be the fastest thing on the field, depending on how things go with the speed tiers here. But we're gonna find out here what's going for what. The Incineroar did switch in, could maybe go for a fake out. We've seen it does generally carry that move, and I believe we have seen it so far, but I could be mistaken. So we're gonna find out here what exactly is gonna happen. That Urshifu, if it's not faster than the Corviknight, is in range of, or in danger of getting hit by a super effective flying type move. I don't know if it could be one hit KO'd. The Incineroar does swap out into the Silvally, and the Corviknight opts to roost. So it is the fastest thing on the field with the +2 speed. It does not want to get KO'd by anything, so it opts to boost its HP right back up almost to full. That way it can survive that Thunderbolt. Can't survive too many of those, but can survive that one. And a Drain Punch comes out from the Urshifu. Really smart move, not going for the water type move there, as it would not be very effective against grass type Silvally. Instead opting for the Drain Punch, which did quite a bit of damage, and I think was a very smart play by the Drednaws there, punishing the Red Claws for switching out the Incineroar there. Not going to be a free switch. He said, not today. You're not switching in that Silvally for free. And that Drain Punch was a very smart move. So now, again, both of the Pokemon on the side of the field, the Raichu and the Urshifu, are both sitting at full HP, no damage. And this Corviknight and Silvally are pretty low. That Corviknight really is either going to have to start attacking or continue to just roost, maybe until the partner can get rid of the Thunderbolt from the Raichu. But nope, they're not worried about it. They decide just going for a Brave Bird almost picks up the KO onto Urshifu, even at +1 attack. That Urshifu hangs on and lives the Brave Bird. Very impressive showing there of physical defense. And the Thunderbolt just KOs the Corviknight right there. And a Tailwind comes out from the Silvally. So Silvally's trying to set up the remaining Pokemon that the Red Claws have left with that +2 speed from Tailwind for a few turns. But the U-turn comes out and does not let that Silvally set up the Tailwind for free. KOs, it's been a double knockout for the Herkimer Drednaws. So now the question is, what are they going to switch in? Now all they have left is the Rapidash and Kingdra. Meanwhile, the Boston Red Claws do have, I believe, the Incineroar and Magearna in the back, and I'm not sure of anything else. So we're going to have to first see what the Drednaws want to switch in to their open slot, and then we are going to see what Pokemon the Boston Red Claws are sending out, if they have more than 2 left. We're going to have to wait and see. It has been an action-packed match, though, back and forth. It's really, even as of right now, it's hard to see who has the upper hand. But let's take a look. Looks like the Kingdra comes out from the Herkimer Drednaws. But the good thing to note is the rain is no longer up. The rain stopped a few turns ago, and so that means Kingdra can no longer benefit from the swift swim from the rain. Incineroar is a Pokemon that comes out, and Alakazam. That's right, the Alakazam is left. But both of them not coming in for free, taking that Stealth Rock damage. That Incineroar is taking a lot of damage every time it comes in from that Stealth Rock. Very, very smart play early on by the Herkimer Drednaws, setting up the Stealth Rocks. Not something you normally see as a viable strategy in double battles, but because it is 6v6 and knowing that the Boston Red Claws have that Incineroar that does not want to continually switch in on Stealth Rocks, it limits the amount of times that the Boston Red Claws can get Intimidate and Parting Shots off by switching around. So very, very, very smart early on for the Drednaws to do that, because again, it's continually weakening down any Pokemon that switches in, breaks any Focus Ashes, and now we have an interesting position where the Incineroar is low on health, the Alakazam's almost full, but again, Raichu and Kingdra both at full health. The Herkimer Drednaws still have 4 Pokemon left compared to the 3 on the Boston Red Claw side. A Fake Out comes out from the Incineroar, plus a Dazzling Gleam. Is this going to be enough to KO? Neither Pokemon. No, the Kingdra holds on, but flinches due to the Dazzling Gleam. And then a Light Screen comes out from that Raichu. Very interesting technique, being a smart play, I think, to boost the special defense from that Alakazam. It looks like there is still a few turns of Tailwind left, and now that Kingdra is very low on HP. So if that Alakazam is faster again this turn, that could be a KO. Unless the Light Screen is enough special defense boost to save the Kingdra, it could be bye-bye Kingdra here this turn. But Kingdra does opt to go for the Protect this turn, and another Dazzling comes out, but goes right into that Protect of the Kingdra. So that's going to hit the Raichu, doing a little bit of damage. The Light Screen really protecting it there. Brick Break, ooh, not going to do enough. A lot of the Intimidates have been coming in from the Incineroar, so it lived the Brick Break and was able to return and KO Raichu with a knockoff, removing its berry as it did faint. So it didn't get a chance to use its berry before fainting. And now all that's left here on the Drednaws side are very low HP Urshifu and a full HP Rapidash. So we're going to have to see which Pokemon he decides to send out. The Urshifu, if it's not faster than the Alakazam, I feel like is in a very threatened position to just get KO'd by another Dazzling Gleam. So that's the play that the Drednaws make. They opt to go into the Rapidash. They don't want to get one-hit KO'd by anything. They really need to deal with this Alakazam, being that Alakazam is such an offensive powerhouse, especially behind Tailwind, then makes it even faster than it already naturally is. It looks like Kingdra, based on the text here on the screen, Kingdra may be locked into Choice Scarf into Protect, which may be a team building mistake that the Drednaws have made. Let's see if it comes back to hurt them, because they try to go for the double Protect. It fails. The Dazzling Gleam does pick up the KO on Kingdra. Doesn't much matter there again, as it seems it was locked into Choice Scarf Protect. But Rapidash cleanly lives the Dazzling Gleam, not taking much damage at all, doing a bunch of damage and KOing the Alakazam in one hit there with that powerful Flare Blitz, but takes a lot of recoil damage, plus additional 10% of its HP recoil damage from Life Orb. Incineroar trying to weaken this Rapidash, knowing that it's got to do something in order to live, even though it has very low HP. So it goes for the Parting Shot, and then switches out one more time. Magearna comes back in, very, very low on HP, taking, again, a little bit of chip damage from those Stealth Rocks. Very, very crucial. Those Stealth Rocks have proven to be this whole match. Out comes Incineroar again, after it's swapped around with the Parting Shot. We're going to see what happens, and Urshifu comes out. So I believe this is a 2v2, the final two Pokemon on each side, but again, the Incineroar. It got the Parting Shot, but sacrificed itself to the Stealth Rocks, but also sacrificing itself to give the Magearna a boost with the Soul Heart. A really, really creative play by Curse, for sure. Being able to come in again with the Parting Shot, lowering the Rapidash's attack, and boosting Magearna's own special attack. The only thing here is who's going to be faster. Can the Magearna potentially get a double KO before it can get KO'd by either one of these Pokemon? But it appears that Rapidash is too fast, faster than the Magearna, and with just such low HP, that Magearna wasn't able to hang on, even to a -1 Flare Blitz. And that does it, folks. That is going to be the first victory this season for the Herkimer Drednaws. Congratulations to them, now becoming 1-0 and taking down the currently undefeated, or up until this point, undefeated Boston Red Claws. Huge upset this week here on the ABL Primetime. Week 3. So congratulations, though. Good game to both coaches, and I do wish you both the best of luck in future matches. This has been ABL Primetime Week 3. My name is Nick, KyogreKauai, and I will see you guys next time.